So I got asked a question recently. A woman said to me, if I don't let my emotions out, am I lying? I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I talk all over the world about parenting, good communication, emotional strength, and resilience. And in this video, I'm talking about emotions, letting them out, and what really makes you a truthful person when you're expressing yourself. So in this video, I'm going to share a couple of true stories about emotions, letting them out, and what they do to us, and then talk about what you can do to make sure that you are understanding your emotions, but also maintaining calmness. So I mentioned there was a woman who recently said to me that she was struggling with calmness. In fact, she raised her hand in a recent presentation. I was speaking at a university, and she said, "Hey, my name is so-and-so, and I don't understand calmness." And I thought that was the funniest way to say it, because she basically was saying, I need help, but I don't get this. And she says, in fact, I'm having a hard time right now actually learning about calmness. I know I probably need it because I'm out of control a lot, but I feel like that I'm not being true to myself. I would have to be lying if I am not expressing my emotions. How would people know how I felt? Aren't I then just bottling stuff up if I'm choosing to be calm? Have you ever thought that before? Or do you know people who might think this? This is a very common mindset to get into. And this is because we all want understanding so much. It's important for us to feel understood in our relationships. So we need to know that somebody knows we had a hard moment. We need to know that somebody cares about us. But here's the thing. If we are constantly dumping our emotions out on another person so that they understand us, what we're really doing is making them react to us, not fully understand us. And there is a difference between those two things. If you want someone to fully understand you, they have to understand how you're communicating and take things in a productive way. Most people, when they feel someone emotionally dump on them, they just start emotionally dumping back. They feel like the victim suddenly, and they have to decide, do I stay the victim or do I become an aggressor and retaliate? And we don't want to get stuck in that victim-aggressor triangle thing that happens to everybody all the time. That matrix is a place you can't ever get out of. And I think this is what this woman was telling me. In fact, as we carried on the conversation, she really said, but you know what? I don't know if I have any experience with this. I was not raised in a way where people were calm with me. In fact, she went on to say that she was raised in a way that was quite aggressive, quite emotionally dramatic. And so if her parent was constantly dumping their emotions on her, then she's thinking that's the only way she can understand her mother or her father, so that must be what she has to do to be understood. So maybe the people that raised her were really strong-willed people, but they didn't show the most beautiful side of a strong will. A really, truly strong-willed person has everything it takes to tell themselves, no, that's not the right way to handle it. So self, accept a no answer. Now, I'm going to instruct myself forward in a direction that will be productive emotionally for myself. And that is the true power that a strong-willed person can find. If they understand they have the ability to do that. If they've never seen the example, they might not know they have the ability. This woman was incredibly strong-willed. She reminded me a little bit of myself. The difference between her and me is I was raised with a father who told me I always had a choice, that I could choose one way or another, and that I needed to evaluate the consequences of all of my choices before I made those choices. That made me a different person. Was my father free from power struggling? No, sometimes he did it too. So he didn't even take his own advice sometimes. He's human. But at the end of the day, the truth that he spoke to me spoke volumes to me. And I decided I wanted to really be that person who would make the right choices that would lead me toward the end results that I wanted. So what do you want? What do you want for your communications with other people? That's an important thing for you to recognize. So I had to say to this woman, as I've said to many other people, do you want to keep having this experience? Because here she is sitting in one of my big trainings. You know, she obviously thinks something's not okay, right? She needs help. But does she really want to do the work herself? Or does she just want me to tell her how to change her children? Because when we're talking about heart change and we're talking about relationships then, the child's heart is only going to change through the relationship with her. And her relationship is only going to be good if she has a change of heart. So that meant suddenly she had some responsibility. Now, it used to be that I actually wasn't a very calm person, especially in my adolescent years and in my early adult years. I would say the most hurtful things. I could send darts out of my mouth. I was able to speak in ways that were very vicious. My poor mother was on the end of those communications so often. And truly, I'm ashamed of what I used to do. So I'm actually living proof that you don't have to be out of control. I'm living proof that self-government is possible, that calmness is possible, and that it's not a lie. Because if there is one thing I am dedicated to, it is not lying. Years ago, when I was about 14 years old, I realized I was completely addicted to lying. And I'm so grateful to some friends of mine who taught me that I needed to fix that. But still, nobody taught me how to fix that. For years, I worked tirelessly to try to stop myself from getting into that lying mode about things. And then finally, when I hit full honesty and I could take the negative consequences for any one of my behaviors, I could own up to anything that I did that was wrong. That was a liberating moment for me. So, do I want to be honest in everything I do? Absolutely. Do I want to be hiding things from other people? No, because that creates walls in relationships. So how do you be calm then and also stay honest and not be lying about yourself? That's what this woman did not understand. Are you liking this? We're going to talk now about the how-tos and what you can do for calmness so that you can be an honest person and not give in to the lies that actually are associated with emotionally venting on someone else. But before I get to that, subscribe to this channel. This is a great channel. You like it, right? You're still here. It's the middle of the video. Subscribe now so you can get more. So we're going to talk about the calmness, and I even have a gift for you related to helping you with your calmness. But before we get to those things, it is important to understand what the real lying is. So this woman thought, well, if I don't be emotional, if I don't let all my emotions out, then I am lying. This is what she trained herself to think for many, many years. The only way to be truthful is to let it all out on somebody. But does every person have to know every single thing going on inside of you? Do they, in order for you to be telling the truth? And here's another question to consider. Are those emotions really true? Because they were based on a thought. So did you know that you feel something, then you experience a thought, then you emote? So it's the thought that makes all the difference. So what if I experienced a thought of frustration, and instead of thinking, I am so frustrated, I got to tell everybody about it, because that's a thought that then leads to taking action. What if I experienced frustration and thought, oh, right now I'm experiencing frustration. I think what I need to do is focus on my calmness and get myself ready to handle this problem because maybe I'm not quite ready yet. That would be a thought that would make me stop, take a minute, get calm, and then start problem solving with the skills that I have. Why do I have to tell anybody any of that? People who think they have to tell everybody all the things that are on the inside of them all the time are people who are always going to be controlled by everything going on around them too. You don't have to tell somebody everything to be completely free. In fact, you should be able to be free from emotional bondage whether there is anyone in the room with you or not. Now, I know extroverted people like to share things and that helps them sort out their problems a little bit better, but maybe you could sort those things out in a more productive way if you had the skills and the tools you needed. This is where I come in. I actually have tools that you might not have. things that I have learned along the way, parenting my 4 children and raising the many foster children that came to my home for therapeutic treatment care, and just controlling the beast that is within me. And so I would like to give you a Calm Parenting Toolkit. This will give you 10 tools that you can utilize in any circumstance. They are based on principles so that you can start changing your heart, start changing your mind so that you can become the calm person that you want to be. Click on the link in the description below this video that says teachselfgov.com/toolkit, and that will take you to the Calm Parenting Toolkit for free.